Well, this is a video I didn't think I was ever going to make, but here we go. So for the majority of my life, so my whole life, I've been a meat eater. So I grew up on meat. My family have always cooked meat. I'm Maltese, Mediterranean, so there's a lot of meat in the background, and that's just a lot of the food that they eat, and I've grown up eating food like that. And I've always had it in the back of my mind that one day I want to be a vegetarian or a vegan or something like that. And my reasons for it were mainly, I know there's obviously the ethical side of it, just killing animals is wrong, obviously. And then there's the whole environmental aspect of it. And then there's more of the health benefits. And obviously, eating healthier, mentally better, physically better. There's a plethora of benefits. But for me, I didn't really think I was going to do it until maybe I was a bit older. I'll say maybe, I don't know, like late 20s, early 30s, something like that. But then I watched this documentary called Cowspiracy, I think it was called. And then towards the end, I said to myself, all right, I'm going to try and do this for a week. I'm going to go full vegan, not going to eat any meat, dairy, anything like that. And I found it to be great. Like, I think it's one of the best things I've tried because of the many benefits, which I'll go into in this video. But before I do that, I think I'd like to address why I haven't done it in the first place and what was my main thing holding me back, the two major things. So for me, I've always believed growing up, and just with the society that we are in general, that meat makes you big and strong, and meat pretty much helps you to build muscle. You can't build muscle without meat. And I'm not a bodybuilder or anything like that, but I do like to go to the gym. I do have some fitness goals to gain a bit of weight and get a bit of dench. And with that, I believe that meat was one of the ways to do that. And the other thing was calories. And I think obviously you get a lot of calories from animal-based things like eggs and butter and things like that. So my main two problems were, will I gain enough weight, and will I still be able to gain muscle and have energy throughout the day and do the things that I do, work, gym, all the other things, etc. And going into it, I did have my doubts, but I do have these shakes that I have pretty much every day, which give me at least 1,000 calories, and then working around that wasn't too difficult. And fortunately, my mum was very supportive about it, and I think she likes eating these foods anyway, so she just primarily made vegan foods for these 2 weeks. So going into it, I'm pretty surprised at how much I actually liked it. There were difficulties at the beginning, like for example, I'd be with friends and they'd want to get a takeaway, or they'd want to get food that has meat or eggs or anything in that, and I'd feel a bit like, I want to have that, why not? And then there'd be times where I would like smell chicken and I'm just like, oh, that smells so good, but then I see someone eating it and I'm just like, this is actually gross. It's like a dead animal body part. And obviously it's kind of like the same way that a smoker reacts to the smell of cigarettes after not smoking. I think it's like a similar thing. But for me, I found that even in some ways, when I was telling people that I'm doing this vegan thing, some people would get pretty defensive and say, oh, why are you doing that, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd say, because it's bad killing animals, it's bad for the environment, and there's a lot of health benefits. And they'd say, oh, blah, blah, blah. And but I feel like I was on that side until I tried it. And now that I've tried it, I understand it a bit more. But the major benefit I felt was generally a clearer headspace. So me, because I meditate and just spend a lot of time alone, I am quite able to monitor my thoughts quite well. I know what I'm thinking about most of the time, and while I was eating a plant-based diet, it helped me to think clearer and pretty much be more present, which was always a good thing. And I was surprised to see that I actually did have quite a lot of energy in the gym. If not, I could lift what I normally would, if not even more, and that was a big surprise. I mean, even in the gym, the guy that works there, he saw me in my like gym attire and he said, oh wow, man, you've been like, you look bigger. And I'm just like, well, I haven't really even been eating any meat or anything like that. So that was a nice confidence booster for me. And yeah, I think the other thing is that I felt like I felt a bit more good about myself. And the reason for that is because I knew for those 2 weeks that I hadn't eaten anything from animals. So I'd never gone full vegan or even tried being vegan for even a few days, and doing that, I just felt good. And I know there's this sort of this sort of stigma about veganism that, you know, they're a bit pretentious and they can be like, oh, very preachy and blah blah blah. But to an extent, I felt like I was a part of this like club that, even though I didn't join any community or didn't really talk to anyone that was also being vegan, or also is vegan, I felt like I was kind of a part of this group. And I did watch a few documentaries to sort of create that confirmation bias of, you know, doing the right thing. Where I watched Game Changers, I watched the Cowspiracy one, and What the Health, and all of those pretty much reinforced what I already had felt. And I just felt pretty good. I mean, what was I eating? Lentils, peanut butter, porridge, just potatoes, just fruit and veg. And I know that, and I really thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than it was. There were difficult parts where, for example, I'd be at work and I'd have to, if I didn't have lunch on hand, there'd be nowhere really to get food. And I don't really like eating out anyway that much. But I think now that 2 weeks are over, I've kind of got a new sort of perception on how I'm going to go about my relationship with meat and animal-based food in general. But the main thing for me at the moment is, I think now I've kind of reevaluated my stance on meat and animal-based foods. So before, I'd have about an egg every day, if not 2 or 3, and now I struggle to even really have one. I don't think I really want to have eggs. I mean, part of it just kind of grosses me out now. And speaking of which, milk in general, yeah, I don't think I ever want to like drink milk again. I know there'll probably be a time where it'll be very inconvenient not to, but on a day-to-day basis, I think what I would do is just drink oat milk. It's much better for the environment, better for you, and I just like the taste a lot more, pretty much. And in regards to actually eating meat, I will forego it. So for example, I think before, if I was at a restaurant, I would go for the meaty thing by like default. And now I think I'll go for the plant-based option, more so that I know the benefits of it now, and I just like the taste as well. And I think meat is kind of like a bit overrated in the taste, and especially for what it actually is. And I don't think there is really a justifiable argument as to why we need to eat meat and pretty much mass produce it the way that we do. So for me, I think that sort of changed, and I'm quite happy in that. And even on a day-to-day basis, like, I'll probably pick the vegetarian or the plant-based option a lot more. That's not to say that I won't ever eat meat. I do plan on going away soon to Asia, and over there I'm probably going to have no choice, and it's going to be difficult enough with all the language barrier, so I'm just going to eat whatever during that time. But in the longer term future, I think what I will do is I'll go vegetarian once I'm kind of ready to, and just not eat meat. And I think longer term, then I'll go vegan. But I don't want to be a vegan that eats just no meat at all ever. I think my stance on it will be that I will, on a day-to-day basis, not eat any meat or animal-based stuff. But if I'm in Malta or I'm on holiday or something like that, I want to sort of taste the local delicacies, because at the end of the day, I do still want to enjoy stuff, but in moderation. And with that, I think this experience has been pretty good. It's been pretty eye-opening. I mean, from now on, I think my relationship with meat has changed forever, because I can't go back to eating it the way that I was. And I know it was only 2 weeks, but 2 weeks of not doing something that you've been doing your whole life feels like quite a big deal. It's quite a big deal for me. And yeah, I just like doing it. I just felt better, if that makes any sense. And a lot calmer as well, if that makes sense. I keep saying if that makes sense. I'm going to stop saying that over and over again. So yeah, veganism, pretty good. I know why it gets a bad rap, but I don't necessarily think that the people that are preachy about it are doing it because they have bad intentions. I genuinely think that these people have sort of found something that's really good and they want to share it, but they probably come across as being preachy. So I have some empathy for that. Though when I do it, I'll try to avoid doing that, but because of how I am, and I like being persuasive and try to win arguments, I'm quite argumentative, doing that, it will probably make me like that. But yeah, I've been rambling now. So overall, 2 weeks vegan, really good. My diet's going to be changed forever, and it's going to be a good stepping stone for my future relationship with food in general. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas for another video, let me know. But I do have a few more planned, and yeah, so I've been Happy Lance, and see you later.